হ্যালো গাইস, কি অবস্থা? হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ। কি অবস্থা আপনাদের সবার? সো আমি চেক করছি হচ্ছিল যে না, আমার স্ট্রিমটা স্টেবল থাকতেছে নাকি না এটাই। সো সবাইকে অসংখ্য অসংখ্য সরি। সো এটা জাস্ট ফর দ্য টেস্ট স্ট্রিম এটা। ওকে, 1 মিনিট। ম্যাচ হইতেছে।
Were struggling. Shin was no exception to that one. He had a
Ooh.
fantastic performance in K-Core's debut, but it felt like he was getting shut down a lot more in that first map.
ওকে, সো আজকে হচ্ছিল ম্যাচ হইতেছে আজকে। 1 মিনিট ওয়েট। স্টুডিও predicted. এখন হচ্ছিল ম্যাচ হচ্ছে, এখন হচ্ছিল ম্যাচ হচ্ছে কেসি ভার্সেস হচ্ছিল লাউডের হচ্ছিল ম্যাচ হইতাছে। সো এটা একটু দেখি। সো লেটস সি হোয়াট ইজ গোয়িং অন ইন দ্য
At one point, they ran Phoenix Wraith and Raider
in the
same
land.
pot. They don't have any. I'm gaming. Agent select Mimi. I'm literally gonna be so confused. I mean, I don't care about Phoenix. I don't care about Reyna. I just want a dive agent. I think dive agents are really
Okay.
pivotal on both map number 1 and map number 2 here in
Wait.
Split.
Never mind. The hovers are trolling on me a little bit because there's two raises here for King Corp. So we have to wait a little bit longer.
Scream played a lot of raids for a long, long time for Team Liquid, so well, it's gonna be
Okay, we do get a duelist.
Okay.
Thank you, Casey. I think
So
Raze is an
dark.
absolutely pivotal pick on this map. And we get it again. Also interesting that Seagate is the Raze, so it's another double duelist answer for Loud.
Yeah, I was just about to say Aspas going to be going for the Jet as well. Seen some ups and downs for Jet on this map. Really depended on the the person who is piloting that pick. But Aspas, if he can have a bit of a stronger performance, could absolutely help shut them out. But double duelist, we get one at least from the side of KC. This is a step. This is what we wanted. This is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, to pick this comp though, Loud are going to be giving up a Sentinel, so maybe there's a chance that if K-Core can pick up that mid-round, they could find some gaps here.
well, it's been 187 days since
Valorant.
we've seen Split in VCT, and who better to take you guys through it than the kings of Split overtimes, Mitch and Tom.
Like that. Really? I'm not sure I like that, Sue. I feel like you're tempting fate here. What was it? 23, 21,
match
something
hইতেছে
like
কে?
that? No, I think it was. It might actually no. It was 24-22.
Exactly.
So it was 46 rounds.
Even longer. But you know what, Tom? At the end of the
That
day,
was her boyfriend's fault as well.
I'm going to be honest with you, Tom. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't care if I get 40.
That is true.
I could get 50 rounds of Split right now. Any rounds of Split makes it worthwhile. The map is back. It's the best map in the game. And two of the best teams as well. Damn close first map between KC and Loud. And now it's time to decide whether this ends in 3 right here and now.
That's the interesting thing. If you look at the old Loud core, they played this map 4 times ever.
Whoa.
So it is not a map
What's
that they
it?
used to really lean towards.
Match.
Look at the sheer pacing again. These Viper flashes in, they've connected, have been dragged all the way back. The spam through from the Vera is going to do a decent amount of damage, but no
Okay.
frags to be found.
Now, quick bungee jump into the side and back, but that hasn't deterred his aggression. Both himself and Sadik getting up in their face, but look at the HP lost on the other side. Kawazine down to 25. There's a trade, though. HP for a kill. Looks like he'll be dropped in the end, but Les should never, ever be here. It's just a ridiculous fact to have another guy die there that early on, and now he's in position to potentially harass him even further. They've got to deal with him. They've got to fight him, surely.
Yeah, they're almost trying to bait using screen, just sending him in so that he attempts to try and rotate him from behind, but it is still being watched by Navira. Even still, the time is ticking, and now they have even further control.
Nice
Loud
shot.
Take themselves another pistol, a flash and dash, an aggressive style of play. And that's something I think we really need to almost focus on going into this match, Mitch. These teams have very, very different ideas of what they're doing in split.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair to say. You look immediately at the compositions that you're running, and almost the curiosity is the fact that we're seeing Shin play a duelist. And not because it's Shin or anything, but just that team. KC have constantly said they don't need it, but when it comes to this map, you can definitely understand. Exactly. And it's a break from their philosophy, but when it comes to taking space on this map, a Raze or a Jet, look, they may do it differently. Loud certainly have a lot more capability when it
nice
comes to
one.
that attack. But KC, not sure that's exactly where the name is supposed to go, but hey, I guess it works anyways.
Yeah,
Fair
you
enough.
know, you fake them out with an aid and then you just kill them with your other weaponry.
Why not?
They do have a huge advantage in this round. I think the other thing that's interesting as well, though, is
হ্যাঁ ওরা তো যেমন ভালোই
like a
মারতেছে
Sentinel. I feel like Astra can sort of be used, but I'm almost looking at the fact that there's the initiators on one side doubling up. There's clear ideas. The one team is looking to be a little bit more proactive with their style of play, while having an anchor on the other side of the map, and the other team is almost, instead of having that initiator, going to use those double duelists to just push down and
nice
take that
one.
map control instead. It puts a lot of pressure onto Kawazin, but as we've seen throughout this tournament so far, he can deal with it.
I mean, if you look at the position that Loud are in now, a map behind them, 2 rounds up on the attack side, certainly going to start to feel good about their spot, but I do imagine as this half goes on, their momentum should come to a pretty screeching halt. I mean, once KC gets to grips with their defensive side, that Cypher utility's already been kind of annoying to play against, and it's just going to keep moving around the map. That's where you're going to find a struggle to put rounds on the board on this attack side. So the more that Loud can build up early, the better.
He's just trying to catch them as they swing themselves across XMS. It's just running all the way in. I don't know if the stun didn't quite connect, but that's what it seemed like. Les was not stunned as he ran round.
Yeah.
They went for the sort of players deeper in, and because he was on that ridge, that new addition, it didn't catch him at all.
Big kill for Loud. Even though they end up in a 4v4, the round that's in it, you're certainly going to be happy enough with that. Obviously could have done without Sada going down up in heaven, give them an extra bit of depth to the B push. Instead, this will be a fairly one-dimensional one. The smoke up top already avoided. Navarra's dropped down, and he's ready to annoy them as they come forward. They've managed to isolate him completely, though. A massive kill for Les, a weapon to be retrieved. Scream is going right in. They're taking the fight to them here and now, not allowing that plant to come through. And Aspas has to clutch it. A 1 versus 1. It's Nuzera on the other side. Aspas doesn't have a rifle, just a Spectre in hand. And he faked that plant just a second ago, but now Nuzera knows he's peeking the right angle. The dash has saved his life.
It looks like he's going to try and hightail it all the way back. It might just be a ruse, though. In fact, it's a read. Nuzera, I think he's waiting to see if he hears the steps. He does, so he knows that this is going to be that A-site play. But the pace of his opponent should be enough to get him into position. The stun is being attempted to maybe try and slow him, but it hasn't worked. The plant will be there for Aspas on the other side of the map, and although he's stunned up and in that aftershock, he should be able to survive in the corner.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of save space. That flank coming in, despite the headshot. And a few connections, Nuzera is able to make it happen, delivering one of his in return and putting one on the board. But Tom, you come into this round and we talk about Loud on the attack and how we expect them to slow down. That round was one where they should have come to a screeching halt, having weaknesses, losing their initial attempt at aggression with Sadik taking heaven control. And in the end, a missed stun ends up costing them 4 rifles. That's an expensive round for KC.
Yeah. It was an aggressive start as well. It's maybe what we can come to expect from Carmine Corp, like trying to really put pressure on. As said, it's like a lot of the time when you're going to have this breach KO, you're going to try and pop yourself not only back in on the retake, but potentially to try and take those early fights. For now, though, Aspas onto the Blade Storm is also going to be troublesome. And as you already mentioned, this buy is mostly Guardians on the other side, so he might just have a field day if he can go for some of those updraft plays.
Oh, the grab well and the stun! That's just overkill!
I just got away. Even still, XMS has managed to find that opening kill, but that nade almost managed to take out Kawazin as well. Lovely set play from Carmine Corp.
Just a perfect round for it as well. You know, there's lots of weaknesses here. 3 players on the Guardians. They're not going to be as versatile as these opponents are with rifles in hand, with a Blade Storm to work with. But getting a kill like that and putting Kawazin down to 6 HP. And now they even removed the knives for a moment. Okay, well, they should have known there was a player up top. The knife detected it moments ago, but Scream, maybe not quite ready for them to be that far out. Did they expect a player close in spawn? They certainly are checking the elbow.
The space has been cleared. XMS has found another close position. It doesn't quite kill him off, but an incredibly low Kawazin and less now. It almost leaves this up to Aspas to see what he can find. No orb to be gained, and Kawazin just sort of lurking back, but this is a real opportunity now for Carmine Corp.
I mean, Aspas is still only on 96 HP, right? Like, he's not that healthy despite the shields being online. He'll tag them up a little bit, but now stuck in a corner. This could get very dangerous. They're even coming in for wallbangs. A blind fire through by Les has saved his life. Nuzera has to clutch it, and he will not get it done. Low HP on so many players, but Loud walk out with 3.
That was just fantastic from them. And it's something we've seen throughout the last map as well, is that interplay between them. Just having those moments where, okay, a player is being pressured, a player is stunned up, and Les, even though he's low on HP and has the pit to look after, he's spamming through to make sure his teammate can't be pressured. Those minute details are just fantastic. And then on the other side of things, unfortunately for Carmine Corp, a real opportunity now puts them in the mud. They had no economy to spare. And okay, sure, there's a rolling thunder here, but other than that, you're looking at pistols.
Yeah, from Les's POV there, we just saw that he caught the leg as they went for the swing onto his teammate. Look at the push, XMS. He's got a Sheriff. The element of surprise there, it could have gotten him so much instead. Well, he's at least going to get info here. I mean, Aspas, I think he was trying to sneak past the trap right before it activated. Doesn't do them too much harm, though. Still only a Sheriff on the other side. Close range fight. Oh, it's close. Very close indeed, but Les has found the kill. Another great opening, and a plan to be found for Loud.
And now it just comes down to how much damage you can do. I don't expect to see that Rolling Thunder utilized. In fact, they're just going to try and stun some of the players close by the looks of things. Give some space to Scream to hopefully hit one of his trademarked headshots. There's not really anyone to find, though. Just a close position from Aspas, and he'll have about the same opportunity as his opponent. They may even just be trying to look to hold them in, kill them off to the spike.
Does that get Aspas? I think it does, right? Should be dead on. Perfectly timed as well on the back of their flash. Kawazin down, Aspas out of there. But at the same time, you know, they're not expecting to win this round on KC. They know this isn't going to be a victory. They're going to go down to the spike. Maybe even drop a weapon.
See, the question we now have, though, is obviously we haven't seen Split for a while. A lot of the changes were to give some of those attackers more favorable fights. So you look at the sort of lip that's been added towards A main, allows you to sort of peek at double angles, give you more opportunities and bypass some of the utility, as we've seen. Same as some of the sort of edges that have been added around mid. It's just to remove those sort of dodgy little positions and give attackers some hope. How much has that changed, though? How much of this map now becomes, is it attacker-sided? I'd say probably not. I'd still lean it to that defense. So for Carmine Corp, we want to see them come back into this soon. Otherwise, we might be in a pretty rough position.
You also got to remember, you know, we saw this map in like post-plan era. It was hell. Like, you'd just be raining down Vipers, snake bites and everything like that along the way. They're pushing. They're still going. XMS loves the aggression on this Cypher, but it's not working out. And that's a rifle on the floor again. And look how low Shin is.
Like, I don't really get it. I'll be honest. You've got a raise, you've got a KO, you've also got that breach to set you up. I don't know why your site anchor is the one that's constantly trying to make the plays. Like, it just doesn't seem like the logical player to be pushing forward. And again, they're doing this back into a buy round. It's failed every time they've attempted it, but it's the same thing again. It's no wonder Loud are just going, guys, we should probably wait outside A in case there's a stun. Oh, look, there's a stun. He's probably going to push us now. Like, it is way too telegraphed.
I mean, hell, it's not even a stun this time. It was like every piece of utility that they had on that side of the map. They called in everything. Navarro with a kill. This gives them something to work with. The site itself not lost just yet. Still players holding the ground on KC, and Shin, low HP's pulled out the showstopper, and he's taken down in the air. Aspas only needed one shot. The 10 HP coming down to haunt him, and Nuzera now in the clutch versus one of the strongest players that we've got. But that Rolling Thunder indeed could change everything, and he's waiting for that spike to be tapped. Now worried that he might get pushed, and well, he's not far wrong. Aspas is looking for him, realizing that ulti's online, but in the end, I think he's going to win this round. The Rolling Thunder can come through and deny that. No, he hasn't put the Rolling Thunder through, and Aspas is safe there. Aspas is safe. He's missed the utility. Oh, Aspas has got it. The critical error from KC, and a clutch for Loud.
Oh, that is pain. That is pain. He sends the Rolling Thunder through there, and it's basically
He has
done.
no time. He has no time,
It would have thrown
literally.
him off the plant, but
And off the site, and he wouldn't have been able to run back in time to plant it. It would have been done.
the other thing as well is he could have then just aftershocked it afterwards, and he would have been pushed back. Like, it's just a millimeter, a pixel, a very, very slight mistake. And that mistake is enough to completely cost them the round. You cannot give someone like Aspas that sort of opportunity. 5-on-1. There's no surprise to me at all that we are seeing a pause come through for Carmine Corp, because they are going to need a moment after that one. In fact, if they could do a couple back-to-back, I'd probably be inclined to do that.
Yeah, now is the time to call 7
Oh,
pauses.
dear.
Just punch your monitor. Oh, tech issue, need a moment. I gotta say, there's one thing that we used to always say about Split, and granted, you know, new metas and everything like that, we have to, you absolutely have to take that into consideration. But Jets are supposed to be really bad on attack on this map. They're supposed to really struggle. We're supposed to be here going, well, yeah, guys, Aspas is one of the best players in the tournament, but he's on the attack, and that's why he's not doing so well. He's 7-2.
Yeah.
He's just clutched out as well. This guy has got to be feeling unstoppable. And on the other side, KC, unstartable. Nobody filled the engine today. On this map, at least. They got to get back in there. This is the defensive side.
Yeah, it's bleak as well, because that should have been the turning point. That should have been the moment that granted them around. I definitely want to see adaptations for their aggression. I don't think your Sentinel just dying at the beginning of every round is a particularly good plan, but
again, you know, on A, I see what they're doing. Like, okay, it didn't work last time. Let's bring the Raze here. We'll do a stun on nade deep, and then I'll push. They're adding to it. They're trying to build on it, but every time it's been sufficient for Loud to just go, I'll wait. And that strategy has worked. That means you got to try something new, and that's exactly what KC are doing here.
if your counter to a point is just do nothing, then it's probably not that good a point.
They're playing themselves at that point.
Well, over the top we go for Aspas. To see what you mean, though, that the first man in having a 7-2 KD is a pretty daunting stance for the opposing side. Again, they're just going to be sat back patiently. Seems like they've thrown in the null command. In fact, a Rolling Thunder going through. They're trying to almost pad this round with ultimates when they don't quite have the weaponry. It didn't catch on to the close player. But even still, the trade is there. It's shaky from Aspas. This is starting to get scary now. Still within the sight is Kawazine, and he is holding down the line. His shots are missed, and he connects everything. There looked like there was hope in that round for Carmine Corp, but the 17-year-old Sky puts them in the grave.
That flick back. I mean, he got shot at once. I even heard the Sheriff shot, and he didn't react. I guess just so caught in the moment looking for that other player. One more bullet comes his way, and he's like, all right, I guess I'll deal with you. Quick flick to Shin, who has been having a fantastic game. Even lost my pen during that play. 6-1. You know, this attack side is unreasonable for Loud, and it's coming back to what I said at the end of the last game, Tom. We've seen teams have that super close first game. Even just today in the last series, the second was a blowout. I hoped, because this was Casey's map pick, we'd see something different, but so far that hasn't been the case. Here, though, they found an advantage, and it feels like that's the first time I've had the luxury of saying that.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the beginning of the series, the maps they won versus FPX were utterly dominant in opening duels. +9, and I think it was like +15. It's not something that happens too regularly. Oh, it's a little bit shaky from Les. Maybe getting a bit ahead of themselves here, and Aspas, his aggression is expected as well. finally getting a little bit of luck going their way, but even still, in this afterplant, they haven't been too successful.
Another for Shin. Just a great round from him, it seems. On that, you almost imagine they haven't won. Plenty of players low, plenty of opportunities here. Over on the Loud side to thin the herd on the way through, but yeah, look. Oh, there we go. Headshot as well. Add that to the percentage. 6-2. It's a second round and it's flawlessly done. It's not burning up a ton of ultimates. It's not something that's unrepeatable. Shin's been having a good game so far in the series, and still not considering the fact that they're down 6-2. You know, he's not doing terribly. It's not out of control just yet, but let's see if they can keep it up.
Being able to come back with a Prime Gaming Flawless is about as good as you can get.
Yes.
Like making sure that your economy stays strong, you're not losing too many weapons along the way, which is exactly what happened last time they won a round. Gives them a little bit of a blip. The thing is, though, that basically started off with just a player running down mid and getting a kill. It's not something that's necessarily recreatable. And on the other side of things, this B take has been sublime. They've been able to get into this site because of this double duelist and straight away using the Seekers already going to try and get one with the showstopper. And they know exactly where the man is at the back of site. Navira has been struggling versus this B take, and it's not getting any better! zotac puts them down. What? A Prime Gaming Flawless the other way. You thought the last one was clean. That one was squeaky.
Sorry, Tom. I blinked during that play. Can you tell me what happened? I saw the showstopper fire and then everyone died. The kill on backside's great. Fast play in from Jet. You're isolating Navera while he's being bombarded by utility. That was a little bit crazy. And the fact that they decide to so quickly throw themselves at the site to fight that aggression that was coming through. Well, certainly not the result they expected. We talked about building that momentum back, building on the round they just found, and well, they couldn't even get a kill to follow up. Loud 7-2, economy thriving, and they are fast on their way to A.
Yeah, I can't blame them at this point. Keep it simple. Just run into these sites. The defense have not been able to hold at any turn, and XMS hoping to try and find some spam with the Vandal, but the site is under their control. At least one goes the way of Navira, but the second he swings, there's another trade in return. These quick pushes have just been unstoppable, and the retakes have failed most times out, especially with XMS pushing it alone. There was no one else even close.
Immediately look at the decision. KC are out of there. They realize this is not a round they're winning, and the aggression there, I mean, you can see it. XMS, I don't even want to say overheating, certainly burning up. Look, in those kind of moments, maybe that's the play that changes the game, but so far it feels like it's consistently being the one that loses it.
That's a hero or villain play. That's what that is. Either you get a kill back, maybe help your team win the round, or that. And the problem is like the percentage chance of that working out, even if he gets a kill, there's another player there to trade. Like, that's the thing. And that's the main worry for me at the moment is I'm looking at Loud as players that, like, the majority of the team under the age of 20 years old. And on the other side is where you have a lot of the experienced FPS players. You could have fooled me.
This comes into their map pick, and, you know, we praised them previous map saying, clearly, yeah, they were really controlled. The thinking was elevated, the structure was now built, but it's come crumbling down. I mean, things at this point are getting out of hand. And it's not just about Loud. With the number on the board, it's not about the 6-round lead, the potential 10-2 half, the weak economy that's in play for KC, the ultis that are online for Loud that KC will likely fight to get some early. But it's also the fact that of how Loud got here. The last couple rounds, the dominance, the one straggler found for KC every now and then. XMS.
Still alive. He hasn't been spotted. Finally managing to find a kill. The flash actually doesn't work out. How is this the round that Carmine Corp are winning? It's just a little bit of a hidden corner not checked, and somehow they win every single fight. What?
Well, that's at least 3 rounds guaranteed. Never mind double digits for Loud in this half. A very different feeling to that round. The other 2 that they got, I mean, even the 3rd round, KC only survived with 1 player. I mean, I think it's fair to say this team just hasn't showed up yet. And then they pull out some sheriffs, and it's a different ballgame. They're winning everything. Okay, again, it's about consistency. It's about building those rounds up, but they come into the final round with a showstopper. the other's not really mattering too much. But Loud, on the other hand, you put that Viper spit down,
They're
that
doing it
Showstopper's a
again.
big problem to deal with. Showstopper's
Double up. Oh, it's going to get the kill as well. Just about making out of there, being chased all the way by the Boombot. But will eventually escape. This initial stack up. Let's just spam through the smoke, though.
Had
Maybe the
info.
spot come out, but even still.
It was the nade. Nade's on the way. It's the easiest tracer you can find. Just sprays right back at it, and while the numbers equalized again, KC not able to hold on to a lead for too long in a round. The man advantages could be made up for, though, with the map control that they've taken. XMS staying alive, kept a trap wire up in heaven. They know they haven't walked through heaven to B, and with this B main push, Nivera
faked them.
could catch them out. Oh no, they're going back.
They jumped into the vent. They jumped intentionally, and the second they did it, Scream started rotating back around. It was all a bait play out from Loud, and now they've been spotted. They're going to go back down again.
Oh!
Over the top. Les with a little bit of skill that gets him past. This is going to be devastating. There is absolutely no way Scream can expect him, but he gets the timing right at least. And now they'll double back again. The fact is, though, there's two players cemented within the site. They have a stun ready and waiting.
Oh no, on the way out the right into Nuzera. There was no chance that time. Rolling Thunder for Aspas. He's walked past it. He managed to get close enough. The spray is good. Only 10 seconds left. Spike down in the open. He needs all 3 kills, and he needs them now. They know where he's coming from. There's 3 guns on him. Not a chance. 4 at the half for KC. A good recovery, all things considered. They took a long time to come online on that defense. The question remains whether it's now going to be a punishing factor for them. 4 rounds defensive side split. From what we know of this map, back in the good old days, this was not even nearly enough. But it's a new meta. It's a new era. Who knows? Let's toss it over to the analyst desk and see what they think.
Pressure's getting to them, but there was quite a few moments in that first half where they kind of let some pretty big blunders through in that one. And to take a look at some of those moments, it was kind of this idea of them trying to get aggressive on that defensive side at times, like this round, for example, where they initially spotted someone A main, pushed their Cypher up, and then on this retake, the coordination just isn't quite there on the timing. As the players are swinging from heaven, Scream has already flashed through, and it's not quite well set up to be able to trade each other out. And with this composition, through KC so often had to be leaning into those retakes, and it just felt like it was never working out for them because of just how good Loud was at shutting that down.
Yeah, a lot of just poor decisions being made as well. XMS, as you're kind of talking about, with those consistent rushes out of A. He's been punished so many times in that position. We'll take a look how at the compositions here. You have a double controller coming through for the side of Loud as they get ready to swap sides. Les has already been putting up very solid figures here. So now that you have that Viper and the Astra to really control the tempo from the defending side, I think K-Corp are going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they really are. And on top of that, I mean, we already saw how great that double dive composition is on that attacking side. On defense, you can get a lot of value too. I was just talking about how K-Corp's compositions were rough, or excuse me, their retakes were rough. Now we're in a position where Loud's retakes are probably going to be fantastic with those 2 dive agents.
Well, I haven't seen enough rounds of split. Yeah, of course, it's Mitch and Tom, so this is probably going to go overtime.
Well, as we start this second half, there's no doubt that the morale on the KC side has got to be pretty low. If you're Loud, 8 on the board, crowd behind you, they've been chanting during that entire pause. Support like they've not seen even the other day. And now, 3, look, I'll say 3 rounds that I believe in for KC. 1, they barely scraped by versus a bonus. That first half was miserable, but they started to recover it towards the end. Let's see if they can keep that as they move on into this second half.
Well, that was the case on Pearl. A very different map, of course, one that we lean more heavily into that attacker side, but even still, they looked controlled. They had decent structure for sure. The question will be, can they pull that out of the bag again against what is going to be a very aggressive defensive side? A double duelist. Aspas already looking to lurk his way around the map with Cowers in pocket to support. And they already have some information that there's players deep.
Aspas, that cage is going down any moment now. It's Nuzera and Navera on the way through. They're the ones to be caught, but it managed to avoid going down to this Ghost just yet. That not so lucky the second time. Great flick, and that's going to be a breach removed. A lot of annoying utility out of play. They're watching their back, but no way. It's actually predicted less. His brain is too damn big. And Loud are giving them no quarter. Every kill goes their way till Navera steps it up. Two, and Shin with one. Woohoo! That was wild. Leaving just Navera left, and look, 53 HP, but the swing from Les is perfect. He catches him off. A gorgeous round from Loud. It came close. KC fought back, but too little, too late.
Well, that was one of the questions that was had of Loud. They lost a lot of experience. They lost some of their LAN caliber in the form of Pancada and Sassy, but as we've seen through the series so far, Les may be young, but it is clear that he is confident within this server. 17-7, and a big brain on that man's shoulders to clear it out. A wonderful attempt coming through from Navera in the pistol round, but again, they needed that. They really needed something to kick off this half, and they can't quite get it over the line.
We came into this tournament and I had a lot of doubts around removing Sassy and Pancada and still expecting strong results from this roster, especially off the rip. I also said at the time changing coaching staff, but as we know now, not necessarily the case. Rod was very heavily involved. I don't know if he will have seen that one in the VOD reviews, but they did manage to get the trade at least. XMS even dodging.
How?
On the way through, Kawazin, he's going. He wants
So
to
they just
return
play
his
as
kills.
pistols at this point?
Yeah, screw it. Just take those sheriffs. It's all they need. But look at this, Kawazin. His timing is perfect, but he slows down, expecting them to be waiting for him. The opportunity slips away, but his teammate will spot them. They're right out of there, though. Not baited into a mid-fight.
He has to find something on this B-side push. So he's going to try and delay them. He goes pushing. The shots are wild. That's not something I want to see back in the replay. And while Kawazin now left 1 versus 4. An SMG in hand, not a whole lot to lose, but for Carmine Corp, it looks like the lifeline they've been desiring might have just come 1 round late.
Well, if you are KC, losing that pistol seems like a nail in the coffin, but this response, exactly what they needed, investing so little and getting so much. That's a round win for KC, and I think you'll notice a pretty significant difference between the response in-house when KC win and when KC lose. You know, there's a handful of people who are down there cheering for them, and
this was a great round by XMS. That's the thing. His aggression definitely didn't work out on that defensive side, but being able...
Yeah, I felt that too.
I have a feeling I know what he was watching.
Maybe the Bulldog play on site, perhaps?
Maybe.
Could be. Well, 9 on the board for Loud. They're down to pistols. You know, really not the best of starts to this half, and an opportunity for KC to perhaps get back into things.
He's managed to keep his ground. Boombot through. Of course, not yet nerfed, so still going to be going on its little roam around. Fact is, though, again, Carmine Corp controlled. Taking this patiently, not wanting to rush into anything. A very different style to what we saw from Loud, with a lot more brute force, aggressive with a lot of utility used early. They're much more willing to wait. Now, this can punish them if it gets down to the late seconds on the clock, but as we've seen over the last map, they seem to have it down to a T.
Especially when you consider what they're up against, Tom. You know, this B push that they're looking for, yes, the clock might be a little low, pushing the 30-second mark by the time they go in, maybe even further, but the reality is there's only one man there with 60 HP and a Sheriff. They hit him with a nade earlier on, and you really can't imagine that he gets too much done. That's kind of why. Quick and easy kill and a free sight for them. Ultimately, this round is going to come down to how much damage can Loud do on the way back in, or stopping KC from retreating afterwards.
Oh, they managed to get a couple. This really didn't look like there should be any possibility here. Navira's luck will at least drop the gun, but somehow Kawazin is still winning. The snapback is absurd. This man's sensitivity off the chains. He's trying to bait out Nuzera into the swing, but he can't quite get there in time. Even still, This youngster's reactions are off the charts, and they made that one so damn costly.
Well, we saw it in literally round 3, Tom. Round 3 of this map, we saw KC win the round with one player alive. They should have won it dominantly. We said that could be the writing on the wall for a poor half. They need to, you know, avoid that happening again. They need to make sure that the coming rounds are going to be a lot cleaner, a lot more thought out, and punishing for your opponent. But right here, back to old ways. They win a round barely. It costs them everything. And the economy that they've built up now takes a big blow because of that.
Look at aspas as well, already pressuring in towards B main, that operator in hand. They know there's someone close, but that one's for free. You're gonna see on the other side, the chance for 2! He just basically blast packs into both players. And there will be a trade back again to make it a 3v3, but with so much spotted, they're gonna start a rotation back on the other side of the map.
Absolutely ludicrous early round. Great accounting for everything over on the Loud side, with the exception of that showstopper. I think being close might even have been a reaction to it. You can't sit back against that kind of ultimate, but they popped it so early without taking the control. It's hard to predict and hard to play against. Light flank coming in from XMS, hoping to catch this player coming down the ramp. His timing could be everything for securing this round, for keeping this control. But if Kawazine, as he just heard him put a trap, I think. Certainly heard him take it back now. Yeah, he knows. Kawazine's got all the information. And now the Seeker's going in to find the others. KC are in so much trouble. The utility they throw out, the panic evident as they're going to look to scrap on the back of the site. Both in that corner. A firing squad set up. Trades all that are needed here for Loud. They're not able to get them. Navarra's put a stop to that. aspas needs to get them both with an op. The timing here, surely way too low, and he won't get the extra shot off. KC just about scraped that one.
Every single round they're winning is so unbelievably close, but they are dragging this one back, kicking and screaming. Again, opportunities there for Loud. Kawazine just doing a fantastic job to clear out those backlines, and maybe a little bit unlucky that they both went within that smoke. Even still though, just that double up at the back of sight, the confidence in each other to hit those shots, and where you could see from PM the sigh of relief.
Wow. You rarely get to see it that clearly as well. I mean, you can see his diaphragm stressing. That was something. It's not going to end just here, though, PM, my man. We're going quite a ways on this one. 2 rounds between them. KC came in today. I had so little faith. I didn't think they'd get 13 rounds across 2 maps. And if they played the way they did yesterday, or the other day, they certainly wouldn't. But up against a champions winning core, same coaches in there effectively, and you are rocking in with this close of a scoreline, that is one hell of a statement compared to what we saw from them on opening day.
I think the fun thing as well so far is that I've been most impressed with the players that, I'll be brutally honest, I didn't know anything about. Like, I come into this and going, Scream, he's going to go in, he's going to get loads of headshots. XMS, he's been tearing up in the lower divisions. Navira, probably one of the best players we had coming into EMEA and really thriving, like acing the first pistol round he ever played. And then I was like, Nuzera and Shin, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get.
And we saw Shin on opening day, he was great,
yeah.
Right? But Nuzera, he really struggled. I thought maybe this is just a guy who's not ready for this level, for this scene yet. But that's it, right? Opening games can be like that.
Yeah.
They've got their stuff together now.
Yeah, for sure. But now we look at basically all that's in this round. Stinger definitely still deadly at certain ranges, but it's mostly going to be that Blade Storm. Can aspas have one of those rounds that, well, puts his name on everyone's lips as someone to fear? For now, though, again, Carmine Corp giving them nothing. They know what they're up against. They're playing that pack mentality. Maybe someone can get 1 kill with a Stinger, but can they get more? Probably not. So let's just make sure we work with those trades.
And on the way into this side, it is a Sheriff and a Stinger waiting for them. Some utility on the other side, a Raze, of course. You can expect that nade to be making its way through. Yeah, it's going to be bounced off the wall, trying to deal damage, and then following up with a Stinger. I like it. Using his nade as his own support. But zotac has to get a little bit more here, and right into the operator he goes.
It's definitely not something you see too often, an operator on an Astra, but I feel like an operator in Navira's hands is ever deadly. Flash is going either way, but Les still manages to find Nuzera. starting to get a little bit shaky, but they will snipe one out of the sky. Still, again, no clean rounds for Carmine Corp, but they are getting them back. The distance now down to just 1 after 4 in a row. But this is where, again, things should get that a little bit tougher.
We are certainly starting to see this attacking side heat up for both of these teams. You know, I don't know if we'll see that continue. I think for the most part, when you're coming in here, there's going to be a lot of adaptation in the next couple of split games that we see. So I think, you know, I'm not sure if we've quite found its identity as an attack-sided map, let's say. But for now, certainly seems a lot easier than it was before. Rolling Thunder immediately. We are looking for an aggressive play.
Yeah, potentially. Gonna use it right now. It's come through anyway to clear out the site. Les is just holding up close within the Viper's pit, not falling back, not giving up that control. And there's still 2 players waiting to push through it. He's somewhat surrounded, but does have support from zotac on the site. It's ended with quite a weird scenario, and they're actually expecting him to push this. But instead, with the patience on that side of the map, I wonder if they're gonna try and rotate here.
Such great control for KC to have, but at the same time, making a decision to move out of Heaven at this point means running through a choke point. And any way they go, they're void of information. The only thing they know is Les is in this pit. He's somewhere close, and Uzera's HP is gradually dipping down. He's here in the steps. He knows they just ran right through it, but he doesn't want to get baited into dying and losing the pit. Instead, just sitting there, holding his position while they fight into the spawn. Good kill, great flash, Gawazine gone. And they have the option to take this anywhere now.
30 seconds
Yeah,
left.
they could, the thing is, because that pit is still down, the rest of the players haven't moved. Aspas is still waiting. There's only 25 seconds. They have to make a decision now to make that rotation back or just try and pressure onto him. The flash doesn't really connect. They're coming up with the short. He's landed another shot. Just waiting, holding them back further. And even though the shots may not be connecting, he's still just winning this round. Another shot hit in the leg, and it is done. Just trying to hold back. Navira has to flee, and just the patience from Loud in that moment will garner their 10th.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff from Aspas. A double dash. Haven't gotten to see that in quite a while. He activated it, got 2 kills, and was straight back dashing again. All within a matter of seconds. Look at it, there we go.
I actually don't know
The
if he
first
missed a
kill,
shot. I think he might have legged
second
someone.
kill, dash. Just gorgeous.
And that's the thing, he wins them that round. The call as well from zotac, if that was from him, if that came from someone else on the team, do not move. Sit where they are and expect that rotation. Even with 25 seconds left, they were still holding for the rotation through mid just because Les didn't die.
And that's it. Like we saw the players run past Les. So many players would go, they've ran through my pit, they're up there, I'll at least spam it.
Yeah.
But one lucky shot back, the round changes
Or
completely.
come out of the pit behind him
Exactly,
and try and find them or do anything.
Instead, Aspas is obviously calling, or someone's calling. You know, Aspas is here, he's got the control, no need to move. They're patient, and they're clean. Loving what I'm seeing from Loud on a discipline front. This is a big challenge now. zotac, judge in hand, he's a oh no! That should stop the push right away! But they keep on going! zotac punishes every single player, and we are left to a 5 versus 2, a crucial round for KC. And the cheapest weapon in play for the defenders is all that's needed. That is heartbreaking if you are an EMEA fan. If you've flown all the way here to watch KC make that push for the finals. Right now you'll be sitting watching and expecting that this is the final map they'll play. We're looking at a save call from KC, 11 rounds for Loud, and 2 needed then to close out this game and eliminate KC. They've shown us a very good face here today, Tom, but that round right there, that might just be the final nail in the coffin.
If they weren't broken before, after the last round, where they played it well, it was just that Loud played it better. Well, you lose 3 players on a B push to a judge, you're probably feeling a little bit worse.
And you've also just suppressed zotac, so you're like, okay, these guys are coming in with a showstopper.
Yeah.
Hey, I've suppressed the Rays, we're good, let's go in. And the guy stood there with a shotgun.
this is just filth. He just spams bullets, and he only
Oh
saw the third guy walking through. Oh, well, we've even got it on the other side. And they're going to take a timeout. A chance again for PM to talk to the team, maybe try and settle the nerves a little bit, because this is crunch time for Carmine Corp. They will still be coming in with at least a bit of weaponry, what they saved over from the last round. We've seen Navira's operator look sublime. Shin on the entries has been decent, but they will need a hero play. The thing is, Mitch, I feel like a lot of the time with the pistols is actually where they've been better.
It's true. I'll give you that, but at the same time, I can't expect them to keep connecting. Loud are acutely aware of what they're coming up against here. Got to be limiting those opportunities, but it's not even just the pistols. The fact that Navira is rolling in with this operator, it has to be a game changer for them. And another decision that they've got is whether they fully invest right here and now, try to make that final stand, because their credits, they should look terrible. They don't have ultimates to fall back on, and Loud have a safety net of having a showstopper. I don't know that they can gamble on winning this round, and I don't know they can gamble on winning the next instead.
Yeah, I guess the argument would be get an orb for Shin, have showstopper for the next round no matter what, and then they have something at least to play with. But yeah, it's a pretty rough spot for them to find themselves in, and just look at already Aspas is looking to try and kick them while they're down. He has been unstoppable on this second half. This judge.
Even with the weaker weapons, no one's looking to force that fight just yet. There is a stun ready and waiting. He should be able to dodge that easily enough. Still has a nade to work with as well. So this does look like a very tough position for KC. If they can get into Vents, though, they might be able to fight back into this round. And I think Vents is the target here.
Yeah, they just tried to flash the Sky Flash into A main. I think it got caught on the wall and didn't actually pop in front of the players. So I don't know if they actually have the information that players are there. The second one, though, will garner it for them. They're going to have a good idea
30 seconds left.
that the push is coming in onto this site. A rotation already there from Les. This is not going to be easy.
Yeah, Kawazine made the call there. He was suspicious. You could see the lips
Oh,
move. The rotates come in. He luckily spots him just in time, gets out of there as well. 2 on the site. You expect 1 at this point. You expect Kawazine to be close, but with 10 seconds, can they deal with all these players? It's not looking likely. Les making a good hold on the site, but Shin's got 2. A showstopper to buy them the space. And it's going to hit. Oh, he's got himself! No! The Cosmic Divine protected him, and now opposite judge is looking to take them down. Oh, this is terrifying. A 2 versus 2. They've dealt themselves this hand, and KC holding on now. The opportunity, waiting for it to present itself. He's gone crazy. Zotac with 2, trading out his teammate. And Aspas just baiting, jumping around, dragging their crosshair, and a wall bang to close. Some of the most ridiculous Valorant we've seen. And Loud now 1 away from the semifinals, 1 away from NRG.
This from Shin was nasty. Like, I don't even mind that he ended up sacrificing himself. He was on 8 HP and he killed the other guy. That's absolutely fine. This wallbang is disgusting. How dare you even attempt that? And you could see the frustration and the elation on the other side. Maybe a stressful round for Fraud, but wow. That was it. That was a moment for Carmine Corp. And Aspas, he's ready and waiting. A man you do not want to be trying to fight. A risky move from him. He's gone forward, flashed up, but he'll be able to get away. It has the support from Les as well.
1 more nail in the coffin, Tom. Another player down, KC. Their attack side slowed for a moment. A player waiting outside A, hoping his teammates can come and group up with him, that they can make that final push. Loud's final stand. In this map here, the first split that we've gotten to see in this tournament. And with 4 in a row needed for KC, it starts here, an uphill battle. One that Navira is ready to take. The crowd silences a little bit. but another kill and they're right back alive. Less, he's bought them the advantage. The retake looks good. They've got a judge to play in with, but zotac just upgraded it and still has his nade. Loud are gonna wait and push this retake together.
Viper's Pit not far away, but probably not gonna be the ult to change this round. A stun being set up. Almost attempting to try, and actually I think that nade might kill him once. zotac's got both! It's left all on to the new man on the block, NewZero, to try and fight versus 4, and he stands no chance. Loud will take themselves to victory in front of their hometown. And guess what, Mitch? They go to face that Optic core once again. Their Champions Grand Final facing off a little bit earlier this time out. Another elimination match to close it, but today at least there will be celebrations in this arena as they send that French-Belgium mix home.
You can see it on their faces. This wasn't the performance they wanted to field here, but you have to say, day on day, KC improved. They looked better, but not nearly good enough. This is a game where, starting out the series, Aspas bottom frag. He was the bottom of the scoreboard on map 1.
And they still won.
And they still won 2-0. What does that say about them? But here they are, the EMEA team. They put in the work. They were almost there. The first map so close. They can go home with their heads held high on that, but no doubt they're going to be looking for revenge in the future.
I'm excited to see what they'll bring to EMEA. Like, I didn't think coming into that tournament that would be the case, but they have looked good. Unfortunately, they came up against a champion. A team gunning for the title once again, and this time doing it in their home country, in front of their fans. And it's a 2-0 this time out for Loud, looking incredibly strong from top to bottom. It was Toys on the first map looking incredible. Now we get to see the Loud of old in Les and Aspas performing to an incredible stand-up once again. And that's the thing. We talked about the old roster and the depth they had. It's clear that there is still that depth once again.
Absolutely. Nothing has changed except the roster. They're still in their winning ways, and now moving on to face NRG, a big matchup, a grudge match for them. And one that no doubt this crowd will be behind them every step of the way, feeding off their energy, and you can see it.
Fair play, fair play.
The jersey swap was needed. This man here flew all the way here from France to represent Carmine Core, but that will not make the crowd go any easier on him. They were ganging up, they were giving him the L's, but in the end, they gave him their jersey. We're all in this together once the game is over.
Yeah, it's good to see the love shown from the Loud fans. Because I will say, it takes a hell of a lot of balls to come all the way to Brazil and cheer against this Brazilian crowd.
Yes. ওরা হারিয়ে গেল। But like